Hello, hello, and welcome to another edition of What's Happening at Studio Davina. My name is Dawn Devine, and I'm an author of many books about how to design and make belly dance costumes. I'm obsessed with cats, and my goal in July was to seek better balance in my life. I've been spending a lot of time head down and working, so I decided to turn my head up and look to the sky to look for flowers, to go to libraries and bookstores. And while I am working on this giant project, I really do need to get out more often. So let's just dive into this book project. I cover a bit about what I am doing in my $3 Patreon level. The video for this month is called, But Is It Plagiarism? Because I am going through and pulling images, text, photographs, diagrams from past books. Sometimes this would be considered self-plagiarism. But why reinvent the wheel? I've produced hundreds of articles and I've participated in group projects. I've taught classes on many different platforms and for many different instructors. I've even appeared in interviews on YouTube and there are some podcasts. And what I'm doing is bringing all of my complete body of work together in this 30th anniversary rewrite to make sure that it is a complete book with all of my ideas about costuming. So, as I go through my own archive and look for things I want to include, I find myself asking that question: am I plagiarizing myself? And the answer is unapologetically yes. Yes, I am. Since we're on the subject of Patreon, I just want to let everybody know that on the History Talk level, we're going to be discussing the 4,000-year history of women dancing with tambourines. We're going to look at the artwork that really illustrates this beautiful timeline and all of the key figures who have performed with tambourine through the ages. If you are interested, follow me over on Patreon. And of course, I always do a sort of costumey talk, a little design demo. And this month, we're going to be talking about what I am doing with Pinky. I'm going to talk about some of the updates, some of the past costumes, some of her new costumes, because my mannequin Pinky has her own wardrobe and she's pretty fabulous. But in order to stay creative and make all of these costumes and do this writing and all of these illustrations like Zita Romanza here, I need to fill my bucket. When I find myself taking photographs of flowers in the grocery store, I know it's time to go out and see plants, to touch grass, as the kids say. And so I made a pilgrimage up to Golden Gate Park where I walked around with my friends and spotted all of these beautiful flowers in bloom. Golden Gate Park is a lovely place to spend a day, whether you're interested in art like I am. We went and saw the Monet in Venice exhibit, which is on at the De Young Museum. I'll share those pictures with you another time. But we did take a long walk around the lakes on the hunt to find a dragon. Golden Gate Park right now is a beautiful dragon named Naga, and she blows bubbles out of her nose and her eyes light up and glow. Of course, we were there during the day, so the glow effect wasn't as, mighty as you would think, but the bubbles were certainly super cute. This was designed by CJ Roughgarden, Stephanie Shipman, and Jacqueline Scott. They first introduced this at Burning Man in 2024, and now she's living in Golden Gate Park. I even tried to challenge myself to really savor the little things in life, like this Rick's Rather Rich ice cream in Palo Alto, or this beautiful fountain in the middle of Sunnyvale. What I love about this one is that it makes patterns as the water falls in this arch. The weekend of the 18th and 19th, we had the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in San Jose at the convention center where I work. From a very brief walk around last year in 2025, I decided I had to come back. So on Sunday, I went with my co author and buddy Alicia, and we explored the dark realms of this show. It's a little bit goth, it's a little bit taxidermy, it's original art, it's a great assortment of weird and wonderful things with some vendors like Dead End Hill. And I love this sign, Vintage X Antiques, Dead People Stuff for Sale. And irreverent little things like rubber duckies flipping you off. It was all the little details of this show, like the sign, do not steal. We don't call security, we call spirits. Or in this booth, the Salome painting by Henri Regnault from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, surrounded by Ouija boards. There were lots of skulls and taxidermy pieces that people could purchase. I really enjoyed looking at this particular booth because he was selling decommissioned museum pieces, taxidermies that had been used in museums all over the United States, including this beautiful ibex in the center for only $650. Of course, there were other weird things like, wait, what are those bunny doing? Never mind. They even had a whole series of classes on different styles of taxidermy and entomology. You could get a scorpion or an octopus or a beautiful moth. But the bulk of the booths were about decor pieces, original artworks that feature the weird, the strange, the odd. Like this one. This is taxidermy, like taxidermy, only tech gear. And there were furniture pieces like this beautiful makeup stand with coffin-shaped mirrors. I did make a purchase of this artisanal candle, which I'm looking forward to burning as I write because Misty Mountain smelt so woodsy and fresh. With that purchase made, this person just reminded me that maybe it was time to go before we got stuck here. So we made our way to the exit. It was a great day and it really filled my creative bucket. So now it's time to turn the page, quite literally, and plan for August. I use a passion planner for my day and work, but for my project, I'm using this academic calendar, which includes just what I need. If you like the way this calendar looks, join me over on Patreon. You can get your copy as a digital download at every Patreon membership, including free. Anyways, I hope you have a good time. Thank you for joining me for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, be well.